right, everyone, this is Vishal from EQUITY.GURU and welcome to Chart Attack. And today we're going to be looking at the metals, gold, silver. We'll look at palladium, we'll look at platinum as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about the US dollar because I think this is still, I know I might sound like a broken record talking about the 10-year yield and the US dollar chart, but these are still the most important charts to be following, especially when you want to know where certain equities are going. If we are in a risk on or risk off environment. And the dollar has been key, right? I mean, we can't deny the major uptrend the dollar has been in. Obviously, you've seen moves in the Japanese yen, the euro, the British pound, but there's plenty of other dollar paired currencies that are also taking a hit because the dollar is, you know, the safe haven, I guess you could say, but a lot of other people are claiming that this dollar move is more due to interest rate differentials, you know, with a hawkish Fed. With the hawkish Federal Reserve looking to continue to increase interest rates. Obviously, that got a bit of a bump up because inflation came in higher than expected. And in 3 weeks' time, there is expected to be a large interest rate hike, a 75 basis point hike from the Fed, taking rates up to 4% in the US. And then we'll have to see the type of rhetoric or diction the Federal Reserve or Jerome Powell uses. I'm thinking he's going to continue to be hawkish going forward, saying that the Fed will do what it has to do to tame inflation and rates will have to go higher because we aren't really seeing any progress in interest rates. And, you know, as the US rates head higher, a lot of people are looking at the dollar. But again, you know, compare the US with, say, Europe and Britain and even Japan, I think you can say that the US looks a bit better compared to those countries. On the technicals for the US dollar, things still have not changed. You know, I can draw this trend line if you guys want to sort of see what I'm talking about in terms of the slope, but we've been watching this 110 level as our support for the DXY or the US dollar market. And up on top here, we do have resistance at around 114.20. So it's really about which direction does the dollar want to go, right? If we do break below this trend line and below 110, I think we can start making a case of, you know, a bit of a relief rally for the dollar, which would be positive for, say, equities and other, I guess, risk-on assets. But we're very likely to continue that move higher on that US dollar. And again, you know, I'm just saying very likely because it all depends on what happens with the charts. But if I'm just thinking from a fundamental perspective, I think there's more room for the US dollar to go, which would put some pressure on, of course, those precious metals, gold, silver, and other metals that are denominated in dollars. So let's take a look at gold quickly. 1680 has been our very major target level, which we've been talking about is this, you know, this major support zone. And again, folks, these are zones. So I like to use 1680, but, you know, you could extend the zone to the candle bodies like that. And we've been watching to see if we can get a strong close back above 1700 on the weekly chart. We almost did on the week of October 3rd. It failed. To me, this just looks like a typical breakdown, a retest, and a reversal. So it does look like, you know, if gold does get a weekly close here by the end of the trading day, below 1643 here, let's call it, then our original analysis, which I talked about on Market Moment with gold maybe going down to 1500, is going to come true. So keep an eye on that. But the one I am more closely following is the silver markets. And the silver market, you know, had a bit of hope here where we had this big, what was it? Was it a 6% move? 8% move on October 3rd. Had a lot of people excited. I even said, okay, look, we have this breakout above 20 bucks, but there's still resistance here at 22. So just be a bit careful. There's still some other interim resistance here nearby at 2075. And you can see here, silver pulled back, retest, failed to hold above the $20 level. And we are back at that big $18 level where silver has held on, you know, since July of this year. But going back on the weekly chart, you guys know how important this is. This was actually our initial targets for silver when we broke below $22 back in May. We said that that is the next major support level where we should see some sort of buying. But if that breaks which very well could break, then I think we're looking at, believe it or not, around the $15 zone for silver, which I think is pretty crazy, because then it gets to a point where the cost of mining silver is higher than the price, which will probably, see some silver miners decide, I guess, to not increase their production, and we could probably see sort of the supply and demand shift, and hopefully silver prices can begin to rise once again. But as of now, if that dollar continues to be stronger, it does look like the metals will be breaking their major support levels here. So keep an eye out on silver. Perhaps we just range here, but again, if that dollar does break down, I think this would be a good opportunity for a move higher in silver. But again, not just yet. I want to wait for other technical indicators and then make my move once I see the probabilities increase. If we take a look at copper, really been doing nothing these past few weeks, just been ranging within this channel, which I am watching. And then interestingly enough, platinum, sort of similar to, it looked like it was breaking out, hasn't really done much, but it's not really a chart I've been watching too much. I'm just going to draw some channel trend lines here, because I know a lot of people are probably watching the platinum markets here. But palladium is the other one that I think is quite interesting, where we just were over 2,300 last week, I believe, on October 4th. And it does look like we're about to spill below this uptrend line, which I have drawn out, which likely means that palladium is going to be heading lower. We just did break below 2,000 and 2,100. I mean, it's a very big red day, 5% red day on palladium right now. And I think all these metals are going to come under pressure, especially with that strength in the US dollar. So key takeaways: watch this US dollar chart. If we get a breakout, it's not looking too good for silver, gold, and the other metals. But if we break below 110, I think we can start adding to our positions in terms of a few months of reversal for the precious metals. But as of now, silver testing that major $18 zone. And I'm very also interested to seeing how gold will close the week. And if we do close below recent weekly lows or body lows, I think that's a sell trigger, to be honest, for gold, where you place your stop losses above 1,700 and just ride it down to the 1,500 level and lower. So, maybe not something that the gold and silver bulls want to hear right now, but it really is about what that US dollar is doing. And maybe there's going to be some more pain for us precious metal bulls. But if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. That's what I'm here for. I want to hear your thoughts on precious metals and maybe the US dollar as well, where you think those charts are going. Give me a thumbs up, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel for more chart attack videos and macro viewpoints. That's it for me, folks. I'll catch you guys all in the next chart attack video.